All right, so just a short video today. As you can see, I'm in bed. We are still under lockdown here, working from home. And today I'm working upstairs in the bedroom. Anyway, that is totally irrelevant to what I am making this video about. But this video is about a news story today. The British MP, Jess Phillips, she was subject to pretty much a hate campaign. This guy, a very angry white supremacist, was sending her particularly horrible emails, really nasty stuff, quite racist, some of it, quite offensive. And he got sent down for 2 years, got sent to prison for 2 years. And in sentencing, the judge, Hilary Manley, said that he was an inadequate man who cannot cope with the reality of having reached your 50s without ever really achieving much, save for a habit of sitting at your keyboard, venting your frustration at others. And that is what, that comment there is what I want to just pick up on, because I think that is so relevant to the times we live in right now. This whole idea that our inadequacy should be, you know, we're looking for someone to blame for our life being crap. You know, life is hard. It's really hard to get ahead these days. And so it's very easy to look for someone to blame. And wherever we go, people are offering us people to blame for our inadequacy at never really getting ahead in life. You know, whether it might be right-wingers offering us immigrants or foreigners to blame for our inadequacies, whether it could be, you know, look at incels, you know, who blame women. You know, they are these involuntarily celibate men who blame women for their own lack of love interest in their lives, you know. And it's this whole thing about not taking ownership of your life. You know, when times are tough, it's very easy to get bitter and resentful and to look for people to blame for it. You know, all this stuff about, you've heard the tropes, the racist tropes, you know, they're coming over here, they're taking our jobs, or why is it that nice guys come last? All this kind of nonsense. But when you start blaming other people or other groups of people for your unhappiness with your situation, chances are it's a sign that you're not taking ownership of your own shit. So yeah, just think about that. It really resonated with me when she said that in sentencing. You're an inadequate man who cannot cope with the reality of having reached your 50s without ever really achieving much, save for a habit of sitting at your keyboard, venting your frustration at others. I look at the Trump administration and MAGA and all of this kind of toxic rhetoric that goes backwards and forwards on social media, blaming foreigners, enemies at the gate, you know, people on the other side of the borders, when actually we could solve a lot of our problems by turning that focus inwards at ourselves and saying, what does this say about me? What does this, you know, look at incels, for example. You know, they call themselves involuntarily celibate, you know, and if I was a woman and a guy was ranting about how it's all women's fault that he was, you know, single, I don't think I'd want to date him, you know what I mean? Yet, you know, there are vast swathes of people angry at each other because of their own inadequacy. You know, so let's just, you know, get some self-awareness here before we start blaming the Tories for how unhappy we are, before we start blaming women for the fact that we're single, you know, before we start blaming other groups, you know, foreigners because we haven't got jobs. Let's start turning that light inwards and seeing what we need to do to step up and take ownership of our lives. All right, that's my rant for the day over. Take ownership. Take ownership. Step up to life and life will step up to meet you. You know, your situation is a reflection of your state of mind, your kind of mentality. So just before you seek to blame anyone else, see how you can blame yourself first and take ownership. Non-judgmentally, just own that crap. Cheers.